Okay, all right. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for being part of the team. Our mission for you today, I know this is your first day. Our mission for you, we want you to kill a guy.
I thought this was a delivery company.
No, we're actually an acquisitions agency.
I have to kill a guy?
Yeah. No, so anyway, we want you to go to the sewers and kill this guy, and in return, we will get $1,000.
Huh?
So yeah, you have about 5 minutes to complete the mission, and here's your equipment. So yeah, you know, good luck out there. If you need anything, tough luck. We don't have any communication set up, but we are working on it. And, you know, hope you come back.
I don't think I'm right for this.
What if XCOM was a funny 2D platformer where instead of saving the Earth from hordes of aliens hell-bent on taking over the planet, you were trying to recover a stolen hat? In Mr. Sun's Hatbox, you are the manager of a delivery company where you deal exclusively in hats. This delivery company employs a gamut of little guys, little fun little gumdrop guys, and they all have their own little quirks. This guy's nearsighted. This guy's got spindly little arms. This one doesn't set off traps. This doesn't sound like a delivery game, does it? And that's because it isn't. This is a base building, mission-based, side-scrolling roguelite. Each day you go on missions that have various objectives and rewards. You equip your little dude with a hat and a weapon, and you control that employee on a 2D side-scrolling mission where you're jumping on dudes' heads, stealing hats, and snapping necks. So what do I like about this game? I actually like this game a lot. Mr. Sun's Hatbox really nails what I like about roguelites, or roguelikes. What makes roguelikes fun is two things. The first thing is it's got to have a good base, a good foundation, basically the basic game that you are playing in order to achieve whatever missions or whatever. The rest is just sort of like modules that kind of slot in and play with the actual system of the game, which is the base. And the base of this game, it's a fairly straightforward 2D platformer. And in a good roguelite, the base game allows you to practice, and over time, you will get better at the base game. The progression in roguelites can be twofold, where it's like items and whatever else, but one of the best things is the feeling of getting better at the game, gaining experience points, but they're not actually points. They're just knowledge, and it's in your head now, and you feel good about it. The second thing about roguelites that I love is the items. Usually, items will be unlocked over time, or just introduced gradually. And in the case of Mr. Sun's Hatbox. And in the case of Mr. Sun's Hatbox, yeah, these items are really fun. They're cool, they're quirky. With the hats, there's tons of things that go on your head in this game, from banana peels to parachutes to hard hats to frogs and snakes and guns. The weapons are just as quirky and weird. They range from a bar of soap to a ping pong paddle to just a half a dozen eggs. You know, the most basic weapons are just guns, which are really effective but only have a limited amount of ammo. You can also take your hat off. You can also throw your weapon. The fun thing about this game is that the items and the weapons and hats will continue to be active even if you're not wearing them, even if you're not using the weapon. For example, it was my first time encountering the frog hat. I knocked it off of an enemy, and then I was going to capture it. You can capture things in this game and send them back off to your base in order to be used for future missions. And I was capturing it, and I was just like, all right, good to go. And I was walking off, and what I didn't know about the hat, what about the frog hat, is it eats enemies. So it just shot its tongue out, ate me, and as it was being captured, it carried me off, and it ended the mission. I failed the mission. My character survived, and I was just sort of flabbergasted because I was like, oh, I didn't know it could do this. So you get several opportunities like that in this game. The wackiness is charming. It's fun. Can't you just have fun? Can't you just sit back and relax and have fun? Can't you just hit someone over the head with a hard baguette, knock them into a soup pot, attach a balloon to that soup pot, and send them off to your base while they're still unconscious? Bam. Can't you? All these things can act in strange ways, and including the employees that have different quirks, and sometimes bad, sometimes good quirks, and it makes for an interesting experience. Each mission lasts only about 3 minutes, so it's easy to complete a mission. Either you fail it or you succeed and just jump right back in. Each mission lasts about 3 minutes on average, so it's easy to keep spinning around the game loop for a few hours until your children ask you, why haven't you cooked dinner yet? It's got that just one more mission compulsion that really got its hooks into me. The progression feels good here too. You come back from missions with money, resources, hats, weapons, and you use these things to upgrade your rooms, you upgrade your employees, you can buy things from a black market, you can sell things with another room that allows you to do that. There's all sorts of things that unlock as you progress, and that's a good thing. However, this type of genre is not for everybody. It can be very frustrating for people where the randomness can really hamper what's fun about this game. There have been a couple of times where the systems that are in the game really frustrated me personally, but I like this type of game, so I'm just putting it out there. But I like this type of game, so it doesn't bother me that much. You need to know if you like that type of thing. Do you like that type of thing, you little weirdo? One of the things I'll do with games is that even if I haven't completed them yet, once the game runs out of mystery, or once I've figured out its systems, or it feels like it doesn't have anything else that can surprise me, I'll generally put it down. This is sort of the case with this game. I do think that there's quite a few things that can happen, but and there's lots of replayability with new game pluses and stuff like that. But a typical game is you are gaining resources over time. You're going on certain boss runs where you have to steal an important hat that lets you unlock other things about your base. You have to do that 5 times, and then there's a final run, and you complete that, and that's the game. Once I've sort of figured that out, for me, it's not something that I want to continue playing over and over and over again. Now, don't get me wrong, I do like this game, and I think it's worth buying. But as far as comparing it to other roguelikes, I want to look at it from that perspective. I've put in hundreds of hours into The Binding of Isaac, and every run you usually have a lot of interesting choices that you have to make, or interesting questions that are going to be answered. What items am I going to get this run? What type of boss is going to be here? Is it going to be a champion boss? Should I do a guppy run? Should I risk it for a certain other type of run? Which character am I going to pick for this run? Should I use my keys for certain things? Should I use my key for this chest? Should I use my key for this red chest? There's tons of different things that are really, really good about The Binding of Isaac that gives you this risk-reward balance. And sometimes that reward really pays off in Isaac. You will sometimes get an item combination that completely breaks the game and wins you the run when you're not even halfway done with it yet. It's like hitting the jackpot on a slot machine, and that's super exciting. The thrill is that sort of item combination in that type of game. Mr. Sun's Hatbox doesn't have this, and that's not a bad thing. It just isn't as good. So you're gonna have a good time with this game. It's a great game. It's good for the price. It's $15. It's on Steam. It's not a bad purchase at all. There's lots of replayability. The base game is solid. It's cute. It's fun. It's interesting. But you do have to know yourself if you think this is going to be worth your time or not. Do you like permadeath? Do you like tough platformers? Are you interested in wearing a boxing glove on your head and carrying a half dozen eggs around? It might be for you. This is Jonny for SideQuesting, and this is another thing about this game. I keep wanting to call it Mr. Hat's Sunbox. It's Mr. Sun's Hatbox. Game made by Kenny Sun. You can get it for $15 on Steam. It's good. I like it.